The new Incon merch is live for your 4th of July. Get your 1776 apparel here. Get your sweet freedom owls, and most importantly, who wants you? Check it out in the description down below. A new series that I kind of want to do where basically I want to somehow do a form of guide that doesn't immediately become completely useless in 2 seconds because the patches are happening every 2 weeks and so often. So the goal with this is to make a gameplay guide where I explain everything that I'm doing, what the abilities kind of do, why I'm building the thing that I'm building, why I'm moving the way that I'm moving, so that you have a general idea of how to play the god. And some things that you can think about regardless of meta changes. You can still kind of use the things that you learned during the match in order to help you. I'm mostly going to do it through in an A to Z fashion. They won't necessarily be in perfect order, like Achilles is before Agni kind of thing. But in general, so first up on Agni, we're starting off going into Bancrofts and getting our dash first. Your dash is by far your best level 1 ability. On Agni, you want to absolutely get it if you can. The only time I wouldn't get your dash at level 1 is if you are against a hunter in the mid lane. If you're against a hunter in the mid lane and you try to dash the wave, there is a good chance that you get your socks rocked, so I wouldn't recommend that. If you're against a standard mage though, no problem. Feel free to get your dash first. Against a hunter, get your 1. Now the reason why we went ahead and got our went into Bancrofts instead of other items is Agni works really well with lifesteal because he has so much damage built into his kit, and because you want to oftentimes use your dash aggressively and not as a getaway skill, I like having lifesteal in Agni. You could absolutely go a Mage's Blessing into tier 1 pen and just go for like an early Divine Ruin, particularly if you were against a heavy healing composition. That would work out just fine. I am not against any healers this game, so I did not have to keep any of that in mind. At level 3, I still mostly get a 2nd point in my 2. I only get the 3rd point into the stun if I'm in the middle of a fight, basically, and I think the stun is going to change the fight. Otherwise, I want flat damage right on out. So rank up that 2 to that 2nd point. We'll get the stun with our 1 at level 4. Just chilling around the mid lane, making sure I get farm. The most important thing in the mid lane is farm, 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 farm. To be fair, it's pretty much important everywhere, but particularly in the mid lane, you're focusing on farm above all else. There is always something for you to be doing. If there's nothing, absolutely nothing up for you to farm, there's no jungle camp, there's no minion wave, there's nothing. That's a great time to go ahead and back so that you can get your items and you don't miss any farm while you had to do so. Right now, very little on the map for me to farm. Perfect time to back. Really, my only option is to go get oracles. Oracles are pretty tanky. I'm going to back. I can afford my full Bancrofts. Preferably, when you back the first time, get at least 1 regular ward, if not 2. It's not always going to work out that way. It didn't this time, but if you can, it would be great to get those wards. You're getting regular wards at this point in the game. My red buff is spawned. I want to go get that, but I can't go get the red buff until after I already have my wave. I've backed for a full Bancroft, so I feel confident to dash that wave, even into a Morrigan, who was in stealth. She hadn't backed yet. I was pretty sure he wasn't going to fight me. And if he did, I was pretty sure I could sustain up and beat him in the 1v1 anyway. Now that we're around level 5, you start to use your dash less often to clear the wave. PvP-wise, it's still a very good ability to use kind of whenever. But as far as PvE goes, you're really only going to start to use it on objectives from this point on. You don't really want to use it on waves and camps anymore because then you can get caught out with your dash down, which is a problem. Morrigan is heading to the left lane, so let my team know. I am not going to be able to rotate as fast as Morrigan, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the wave first, make sure I don't miss out on any XP, even going to steal some of his XP, start the rotation over a little bit. I haven't full committed yet. Now we've full committed. Now that we're past the oracles, we can still come over and get a gank on this AMC who was level 4. Oh, unfortunately, the entire team is going down. That's okay. Morrigan has stealth. I'm feeling pretty fine here still. Want to make sure we don't miss out on any XP. Nobody's going to be able to come back and clear that wave in time, so make sure nobody misses out on it. I'm going to head back over towards mid. I'm pretty sure Morrigan stayed. You can see him stealth right there. I don't think he has a ward out. I know he ulted over in the dual lane, so I'm going to play an aggressive play right here on him. Unfortunately, he did get his stealth back off again. He went a first item Chronos pendant. So he's got 20% CDR already. That is not a standard Morrigan build. It would be more standard to have the Mage's Blessing. If I would have looked at his build a little bit earlier, I could have noticed that. Maybe I have a better opportunity getting the kill there. That's why it's important to make sure you're constantly looking at your tab. I try to look every couple of minutes just to see what's up. Like, okay, maybe I forgot what active this person had. All right, did this person go this item or this item? Maybe it affects my build in some way. Oh, they've got a lot of magical defense. I'm going to need earlier percentage penetration, etc. All right. At this point, I'm in a slightly weird spot because of how I've opted to not back. The good news is that on Agni, you can get away with not backing for a little bit longer than other gods because your ultimate doesn't actually cost mana. So you can stick around longer because you always basically have your ultimate to clear. Morrigan went back to dual lane, so you'll notice that Morrigan is rotating a lot. Always use your movement ability to leave the base so you can get back to lane faster. She is rotating a lot, and she's getting some kills in duo, but she's down 2 levels. Because of those rotations, she's not clearing the wave first before the rotation. If you're going to rotate all the way over to a lane, you have to clear the wave first. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind in XP every single time. Pretty sure Morrigan's over there doing the side camp. She was. She's stealthing back in the middle right now. Sentry ward at top left. It's the most common area that you want to ward. Aggressively on the left-hand side is the best ward location. I would say secondarily is your defensive left-hand side ward, followed by those right-hand sides. In terms of the early mid lane, gonna go look at oracles. This is not me rotating over to dual lane. This is me just getting farm over here in the left side. Grab an oracle. Maybe grab these little guys. I've got the Bancrofts, so I can take a little bit of damage if they try to poke me, which is fine. I'm going to go back to the mid wave before I clear those. Throw out some Agni bombs. Even if you don't hit the Agni bombs, it's okay just to throw them out. Give them a little scare. Let them know that you are willing to throw it out to poke them. I'm good in mana. I don't need to back until level 12 for an active or until I can get a tier 2 of an item. Midwave is up. We'll do midwave 2-hour red buff. We're getting close to the 10-minute marker. Around the 10-minute marker, you want to make sure that you're always buying sentry wards. Oh, I might have just killed myself. Come on, don't do it. Come on, don't do it. I tried to go super aggressive on the Morrigan there. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite reach. I got her out of stealth with my ulti. And then I tried to use my dash to get in range of my 2. Unfortunately, by the time my 2 rolled out to her, it does have a travel animation on Agni. She was already out of the range. Good, a rotation from Ymir. Kumbhakarna ulti should probably still be up, but if he gets stunned, which he did, they are trying to bait us over here. I'm just going to try to finish off the Kumba. It's kind of all I can do. Use my dash to get out of here. My RDO might be in a little bit of trouble, but I can stick around for the stun. Come back around and help with the Mercury, who we know ultimate is down. He should be dead now. Morrigan shouldn't be able to one-shot me from stealth. Just to make sure, I'm going to auto-attack these creeps. Use my Bancroft's lifesteal up. There's a Nuwa inside of there. I'm not going to get fooled by that. And even though a big, nasty fight just broke out and I'm super low, I know everybody's dead, so I'm going to get some farm. Get some farm. Oh, who gets some farm? Get some farm. Always, always farm. The more camps you get, you will snowball out of control quickly. And now I've gotten level 12, which is perfect. I can go ahead and back up right here. Level 12, you get your second active. You have to back for your second active, basically, when you get it. So if you can try to time your back to be at level 12, that would be preferential. You back by your items, and you get your active all at the same time. Don't overstay in order to do that. It's not worth it. You're better off, you know, losing a little bit of farm just to be safer. But in that case, it wasn't very risky. The only person that was going to be back was the Kumbhakarna, which I wasn't afraid of. I'm going to bait, look to the right, and actually stun the Morrigan right here. Oh, good mez from Kumbhakarna, keeping his team alive. I might be dead right here. It's going to be close. Trying to use my Bancrofts to heal up. It's not going to be enough. That Kumbhakarna mez saved his Morrigan. Holy cow, that's a loud new ulti. Something that you want to do on all gods, I wonder if my Ymir disconnected. Something you want to do on everybody is basically look the way that you're not going to shoot your ability. So if you're, like I was looking to shoot the Morrigan there in the mid lane. So I actually looked towards Morrigan in the right side jungle and then flicked my mouse over to the Morrigan. That way she didn't get out of the range of my ability. She was like, oh, he's not going for me, he's going for Mercury. But in actuality, we were baiting. Do that often. He would have died, but he had a Kumbhakarna right there to peel for him. And then a good Mercury ulti as well. The old 3v2 didn't quite work out for us. At this point, the farm in the mid lane is already gone, so I can come do the left-hand jungle side farm first. On Agni, cooldown is very important, so after our Bancrofts, we went into the cooldown boots. You can go Healy McSteelies if you want to go into a straight bursty damage build. That is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And then I'm going to go right into a Chronos Pendant. And then after Chronos Pendant, we're going to pick ourselves up a Soul Reaver. Soul Reaver is probably the best item in the game for Agni because of how many times he can proc it. He can actually proc it more than any other god in Smite, I do believe. You can proc it 3 times on your ulti. You can proc it once on your 1, 2, and 3 for another 3. And I do believe your passive also procs it. So I think you can proc it technically 7 times, which is an absurd amount of potential bonus damage on the old Agni burst. We can finish our Soul Reavers, our Chronos Pendant. So I'm going to back up, get the Chronos Pendant. We've got 30% CDR. We've got the lifesteal. Now we need to start working on some pen. So we're going to get a Soul Reaver. Pretty sure this Nuwa is just spamming her ulti to build up her damage, which is not what you want to do on Nuwa. When we get to the Nuwa guide, we can talk about how to properly use Nuwa ulti. There are several different ways, but that is not for now. Ymir did, in fact, disconnect earlier. I thought he did back in the fountain. That's actually still okay. This 4v5 is 100% doable. When the game becomes 4v5, you do have to become a little bit more careful. You can't obviously go for the same amount of plays that you're used to doing. But I'm Agni. I'm feeling pretty confident. I can hear them over in the top left-hand corner. Let's take a gander at that. On Agni, you like fights over walls. I heard Morrigan stealth. He had come up a little bit farther. Fighting over walls is great for Agni. You can get your full bomb stun combo, no problem. Your 2 also goes through walls, so keep that in mind. Be careful. So even though it's not a super long range, it does, in fact, go through walls. Year 1 you can cast on the other side of a wall as well, so you've got no worries on that front. Walls are your friend. Feel free to use Agni bombs to clear the wave when you need to. By the nature of Agni having 3 ultimates, it means that you can use some of them to clear the wave when necessary. I wouldn't use, like, your last bomb on it or anything. All right, Mercury ulti. I don't know if it's up or down, so I need to be a little bit careful here. I'm trying to get in range of my 3. Will he bleed out? No. 1 HP. That is their Morrigan ult right there on the Merc. Trying to keep him zoned out right here. He's just trying to dash so he can get away in stealth. That is okay for us. I'm going to head back towards the mid lane, make sure I don't miss out too much farm. But I did hear the Morrigan actually stealth off into the jungle. So I'm going to chase into that and look into her. I've got my Aegis up, so I'm okay on that. I think she might have gone to the mid lane tower to try to not miss out on a little bit of farm here. She did. I'm going to bomb her over the wall. 1, 2 bombs. She used... No, she didn't. She got out of the stun, and she only got hit by 1 of those bombs. But luckily, RDO chased her underneath, so we got the kill. That was a fairly safe play for us. They had used a lot, and I have Bancrofts, which allows me to do very aggressive plays like this. If you don't have Bancrofts, after that fight, I would have been too low to keep fighting. It's one of the reasons why I do like it so much on Agni. Helps you sustain up and just keep fighting over and over and over again. Which is awesome for a god, especially like Agni, if you get the cooldown on him. Because he has so much potential damage / poke with his ulti. And if you can use it to get a 2-for-1, not only is it poking, it's also healing you back up for your fights. That's a big fat win. So while most gods right now, I do end up going the Mage's Blessing and tier 1 pen starter, Agni is a notable exception for me. Almost always getting that Bancrofts. Now, like I said, if I was against a Hell or something, you don't have a choice. You got to do the Mage's Blessing tier 1 pen start, because if you don't, you're not going to have anti-heal online till like at least the 12-minute marker, and that's way too late right now to not have anti-healing online. Little Aegis from AMC. You can feel free to dash aggressively in some of these fights. Woo! Healing up with the Bancrofts. Not even worried about it. Dashing aggressively again. I heard the Morrigan in stealth. So I wanted to make sure that I could get away from that. Try to juke just in case Morgan's looking for me. Woo! And we can go ahead and waddle ourselves right on out of here. I have to run all the way back right now. It's a Morrigan. Morrigan can play super aggressive, as you can see. She can keep trying to fight this, so I need to safe back way behind my tier 2 tower. Artemis might actually not even be in a safe place anymore. Welcome back, Ymir. I'm heading back down to the mid lane. Maintaining a 3-level lead on this Morrigan because I have continued to farm the mid lane properly in between rotations. So make sure you're always farming. I can go aggressive on this. Try to get him out of stealth. I got him. Now I gotta not suck. Too late. I sucked. Unfortunately, I'm gonna die for that. That's a bummer, but... Nuwa ulti. I'm gonna die, but... I might be able to get some good poke off. So that was the right play from a... like, technical standpoint. I went from the poke on Morrigan. I knew she stealthed. I had a good idea of where she was gonna go. I got him out of the stealth. Unfortunately, I then missed 2 bombs that would have led to the kill. If I could have gotten the kill earlier, I probably also could have gotten away earlier because I wouldn't have had to stay as long. So that was just a mechanical misplay right there. The idea was solid. I can finish the Soul Reaver now. Now I've got 30% CDR, some lifesteal, and some pen. We're going to continue here in this game. You can now, this is a great time right in the mid game. 3 items, 4 items, really take a good look at what the enemy is building. You'll really get an idea of their build paths. Kumakarna, very tanky. Morrigan, straight damage. Nuwa, straight damage even though he's solo. AMC, straight damage. Mercury, straight damage. A lot of damage builds, right? That means that I don't need an Ob Shard. So I won't do that much damage to Kumakarna, right? But I don't really want to be focusing Kumakarna to begin with. So I don't need the Ob Shard right now. In fact, I can go something straight damage. I can go Rod of Tahuti. Really spike my power through the roof, which is going to help me against 4 out of 5 members of their team immensely. Throw down a sentry ward over by the fire giant. Once you hit about the 15-minute marker, try to make sure there's a constant ward on the fire, preferably a sentry ward, but a regular ward will do. It shouldn't really be your job as a mid laner, but you will find that your responsibilities for warding as a team overlap pretty much everywhere. If your support isn't warding the Gold Fury, then you need to go ward Gold. If your solo's not warding fire like they should, then you need to go ward fire. At the end of the day, you have to suck it up. And that goes for every single role in the game. Everybody needs to be warding. Everybody needs to be particularly centering. And if they're not, suck it up. Go do it. Go ward. Either that or I guess you can just lose. Losing is always fun too, I suppose. And then you can just type in the lobby afterwards and be like, but my support didn't ward. And you've got like 6 wards placed and your team's like, could have bought some of them yourselves. So 20 minutes into the game, we're still farming. Even after level 20, it's all about that farm. Got to get that cash monies. Maintaining a little bit of a lead over Morrigan in terms of XP. Also about 1,000 gold lead. Mercury's in his jungle. We got a Kumba behind us. I got to be careful here that I don't get Kumba ultied and then whacked by a Morrigan from south. Looking over this wall for Nuwa. I do need to be careful with my positioning, though. Now I'm in a bad spot, actually, because I'm close to that mid lane, which we knew they were by. Yep, just kind of like that. That's what I was worried about. Luckily, Mercury uses his ulti, his dash. I have to Aegis myself. Up, that's a Morrigan ult, huh? It's a lot of pressure on your boy, but I'm okay for now. There is an AMC over here. He missed his ulti. Woo! There's a Mercury here, too. I am getting absolutely dove out my brains. I'm running around in circles. This is fine. I'm using my dash to stun. I've got to run back this way because there's a Mercury over here. This is fine. We just got to kind of kite and juke around. Mercury is still around this corner. He has no ultimate. We can do Fire Giant. We don't have to chase for this. We can... Oh! Woo! Okay, Morrigan's still here for some reason. That's her beats down. Luckily, we kept our dash up. We weren't using it on the Pyromancer. We were going to make sure we kept it up because we don't use it on PvE anymore, right? We keep it up just in case we need it for secure. And now we get the Pyromancer. Woo! Okay. And that's how you team fight with an Agni right there. You mostly run around in circles screaming. Casual reminder that screaming gives you an additional 5% movement speed. In Smite, you gotta make sure that you're always screaming. Otherwise, you'll be slower than your opponent. Okay? Heading back towards the mid lane for more farm. But Incon, you're level 20. Why do you need more farm? Well, you see, not only do I need the rest of my items, but 3k pots in Smite are really, really good. And you want to make sure that you're working towards them at all times. Particularly the 3k power pots can easily increase your damage output by like 20+%. Which is pretty make it or break it for Smite. Easy follow-up for me right there with a little bomb stun. So the classic combos on Agni, we haven't really talked about them yet, a little bit later in this game. The most classic of Agni combos is, of course, use your ulti, then your 1. That is your bomb stun. You can, of course, use your stun with any combo. 2-1, 3-1, all will stun. If you're going to use your dash stun, I would recommend putting your 1 down first and then dashing. A little bit more standard. Shell and Aegis down on the AMC. Morgan has started turning into me because of how big we are. So right there, you saw me. I used my 2. Press your 1 at the very end of your 2. Bada bing, bada boom. You get the stun. You never throw down the 1 basically before the 2. If you throw down the 1 before the 2, you very often will miss the stun on your target. You always do your 2 and then 1, because then you can direct the stun wherever they've moved to after you've basically cast your ability. It gives you a much wider range that you can stun from. They've got the oracles here, but we've got so much burst damage. I'm gonna use all my bombs just to make sure we get it really quickly. Don't have to worry about none of that. I don't think there's going to be anybody around to contest, so I don't mind using my 3 on this red buff. We do need to go ahead and defend the fire giant. We all need to back up. Grab a sentry ward. I'm going to start working on a staff of Mirrodin. One thing to note as well is always, you kind of can't see it underneath the sub count, but put your noxious fumes on instant cast. I use quick casting. That's what I use. I use instant cast actives and quick casting on my abilities, but there are some abilities in Smite you want to go off instantly, so set your noxious fumes to instant cast, so that way you make sure it will go off exactly when and where you want it when you are trying to stun. Putting out a sentry ward on the old fire giant. At this point now, we've gotten to the fire giant bait stage of the game. I, as an Agni, need to play it pretty far back. My goal as Agni is to be preferably over a wall. I want a wall between me and the enemy. And I want to be behind my front line, but not too far behind where if they get engaged upon, I can't reach. So try to be in range of reaching with your ulti in particular. As long as you're kind of in this range, you're in a good spot. And the more walls you can keep between you and the enemy, the better. You can get all that burst damage off over the wall. Doesn't always work out so clean like that. There's a good Ymir freeze that forced the AMC beads. I had my passive built up, so my passive bleed on Agni got the kill. Make sure you have your passive up as much as possible. Your passive takes 4 auto attacks. For those that don't know, his passive, you do get a bunch of bonus damage on your ability, and it's a bleed. Did Morgan go left? No, she did not. She stealthed back towards her tier 2. Because I've also got so much CDR, my bombs basically respawn in 10 seconds. So you could just throw them out like that willy-nilly. Not a big deal. They have the sentry coverage on fire, so we can't really do fire. But we can try to shove mid. Get some decent poke out. New ulti starts to really hurt at this stage of the game. Oh, yeah. Feels good, man. Got to keep Kumbhakarna in combat. Otherwise, he will potentially blink on us. Does he have blink? No, he does not have blink. Good to know. This is still not a horrible fight for us. We just got to stay out of the range of that Morgan, who turned into me once again. AMC has no beads. I know this because he had to use them in the last engagement. Use my dash to get out of here. Take a look at the new WoW build. He has 10, 20, 30% cooldown. That means his ultimate is probably up the next 30 seconds. So I need to make sure that I'm not too low when he does end up respawning. We need to back and quickly get towards the fire giant. I'm going to make sure our red buff is down. Have that as fresh as humanly possible. I'm going to run straight over to the fire giant. Not even going to back and spend this cash. The rest of the team needs to be a little bit careful. They don't have the sustain. One cool thing that you can do with Agni is he's one of the few gods that I do actually like Staff of Mirrodin on. Because he has a fairly fun / strong combo, which is you can actually bomb stun, which is a very good long-range, high-damage, high crowd control combo. Most mages you don't get it on. It's just standardly considered not a very good item. Oh, I gotta be very careful here with the Kumba. I was waiting for my Nike to frontline that. Get some poke on the Mercury. They were trying to steal it. The reason why I didn't back is because you could just tell they were going to go do the Fire Giant. Everybody on my team had backed. You got to have somebody around. AMC is heading into the left-hand side. I'm getting my passive back up. I'm actually going to wait around kind of for the AMC. See if he comes around. He did. His bees are going to be back up. There's his Aegis. And he's going to be dead anyway. Now I can play a little aggressive. This might be a little too far forward. But it's about the time of the game when I start to get a little bit more involved on the Agni. Stopping the Morrigan back. Unfortunately, she had everything up on the Morrigan, and I only had one bomb. The good news is that Artemis is going to split push, get that mid Phoenix. Right there was basically nothing that I could do to beat Morrigan in that fight. He was me, but with all my abilities up. I stopped him because my Artemis was shoving mid lane, and if I stopped the Morrigan there, even though I died, we still get the mid Phoenix. Mid Phoenix for a life is 100% worth it. So it ends up being a good trade for us. Not to mention we're going to get the tier 2 over in right lane. I didn't know we were going to get the tier 2, but as it turns out, look at that. Start ranking on my actives now. If you have beads and Aegis, which you should on Agni, there's no reason to really rank up your actives before you have your full 6 items. But I like to rank up my actives in between getting that last item after selling boots. So you get your first 6 items, then you sell, or then you get your actives, then eventually you sell your boots and get the poots, and then you get your non-boots 6 item. But make sure you have your actives ranked up before that point. We do have the double stun capabilities now. Double stun capabilities. As a last item on Agni, I'm looking for something with 10% CDR, preferably. Then I don't have to worry about having a red pot. Red pot will overcap, but it's not that big of a deal. Overcapping by 10% on stats is not a big deal.
Your team has destroyed a left enemy tower.
A lot of people think it's a big deal. It's really not. For some nice Mercury actives. That's a dead Morrigan. Easy peasy. Pop up. Up, up, up. All right. Heading on down the left lane. I can still look to get some good poke. Let's go ahead and stun Kumba. I'm looking for AMC. He's my priority target with the new Wa. The team has also priority targeted him. Now that he's already dead, I can go look for the new Wa in the back line. I don't help that much with the Phoenix. That's the hunter's job. So I can run around and look for some poke. Gotta be careful. That new Wa ulti slaps. If we can kill one more here, we could actually end the game. I'm gonna do something a little... it's too crazy. It's too crazy. We can retreat. We should go right to the Gold Fury. It's the Oni creeps. We should go over and grab that. Make sure we get those buffed fire Oni Furies coming down the lane. To be very scary. So for my last item... Oh, wow. They already got him. Rude. What I'm looking for mostly is Soul Gem is a great final item on Agni. Can give you some serious damage output plus the healing. I like Spear of Desolation as a last item. Ob Shard's a great last item. This particular game, I don't need Obsidian Shard because there's only one tanky target on Kumakarna. So I'm not concerned about that at all. If they would have had tankier targets, I would have gotten the Obsidian Shard way, way earlier in the game anyway. So that's not super relevant at this point. Flat Pen's always good, which is why Spear of Desolation would make sense, because even that would help me a lot against these squishier targets. Take a little look at the Morrigan. Couldn't quite reach him in stealth. He's coming for me. I gotta be careful. I'm about to get ultied or comboed by Kumba. Luckily, I've got people in between us, so we should be okay. Just gonna get my auto attacks off. Make sure we're stacking up the Pyromancer. Ardio's in trouble. We're gonna try to get him a little blink stun here. I think what's... Did they change the way? Interesting. They changed the way Staff of Mirrodin works on Agni nowadays. I didn't realize that. Okay. So we're actually learning together here, folks. We're learning together. This is fantastic. I'm even learning something. They changed Staff of Mirrodin's interaction with Agni. Because of that, I would actually not recommend getting Staff of Mirrodin on Agni anymore. So how it originally worked on Agni is you use your ulti, and it would proc Staff of Mirrodin, so then you could get the combo off again. They have since apparently changed the interaction on Agni, and now you have to use all 3 bombs before you get the Staff of Mirrodin proc on Agni, which is basically useless to you in terms of that passive. So definitely I would not recommend getting that Staff of Mirrodin, but that is very good to know. I'm going to end up getting a soul gem here. If this game continues to go, I'll actually sell that Staff of Mirrodin and replace it with some other general pen item. That must have been a fairly recent change that they made to that. But that's good that we're noting it together. We lost the Fire Giant. That's okay. We're going to play it on back. Ha. See if we can't get our red buff here. Okay. At this point now, we're looking towards Phoenix defenses. We need to be chilling around. There's really no point to be up past the tier 2 tower, really. You can just basically sit on back by your Phoenixes. There's no reason to defend tier 2s after the 30-minute marker. You just go ahead and sit on back. Our team is pretty far forward right now. That's going to be a dead Artemis. There really wasn't a reason to be that far forward. We should be sitting back right now. They've got Fire Giant. Not only do they have Fire Giant, it's the enhanced Fire Giant, which spawns at the 30-minute marker. So the team is currently way too far forward. We call this the classic throw right now. Dying, not even defending a tier 2 tower. That might be the game, actually. If they opt to end right here, which they really should. I can try to look for some poke over the wall. Kumbhakarna has vision on me. I've got to stay very, very safe.
Your middle tower has been destroyed. Your left Phoenix has been destroyed.
They are currently playing it safe right now. They're going to go for the mid, which actually is going to give us an opportunity, which is kind of nice. To maybe not end. We need to just go hard right now. This is basically the end of the game if we don't kill them all. But because we did, there we go. Finally got the dang staff proc so we can get a little double stun off. At least we got to use it like one time. Oh yeah, she turned into me. I've got to beads my own abilities, which is never the most fun. Heading on over to the left-hand side. Still looking for this Mori. Dang it. I got him out of stealth. He's bleeding, but we just can't kill him. He got a soul gem heal proc. We've got 2 Phoenixes down. Unfortunately, they can pretty much just walk at the Titan and end the game if they really want to. We need all the wards out. We need what I call the ding dings. Ding ding wards. We need them all. Get your wards out. Get your wards out. Get your wards out. Wards out. Now at the end of the game, we got ourselves a whole bunch of lifesteal, whole bunch of cooldown. We need defensive wards out. They're gonna get ready for a fire giant sooner than later. We do actually have potential to contest this if we had everybody coming over here, but we don't. So there's no reason for me as a mage to walk over there by myself. There's really no point in doing that. Now that Ymir and Ardio and Nike and all these big frontline boys are going over there, I can start to look at it, except for I actually have to clear one more mid-wave. Otherwise, the creeps will come kill the Titan while we're just sitting over there. Ardio's by herself. Yeah, we just... Once you lose one in a situation where it's Fire Giant o'clock, you just have to back all the way and reset to your Phoenixes. They get the next enhanced fire. And you play for that late game, baby. Baby. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up. All right. This is going to work out fine. We're going to sell the Staff of Mirrodin because of that no bueno interaction. Mercury, one Mantle of Discord. They've gotten a couple more defensive items. I'm going to grab an Ob Shard. Also leaves me enough money left over for a red pot, which puts me back at 40% cooldown rate, which is great. I'm looking for some poke over the wall sooner than later. There we go. Some nice solid poke out right there onto the Nuwa and the Morrigan. I'm just going to Aegis the Nuwa, man. Who am I trying to impress? Get a stun out on her. Okay, there is a Mercury behind us. I can't reach him with the damage, but I can hit him with the stun. Our Phoenixes are coming back up pretty soon. Mercury finds himself very low. I need to be looking for the AMC, though. The Nuwa in the back line, the Morgan, when I can. There it is. Trying to get in. Aegis down on so many. Got to dash through. Use it aggressively here. I gotta keep eyes out for the Nuwa! Unfortunately, she was ready for me when I came back down. No beads would have helped me right there. We do have two Phoenixes up. If the Artemis can get a couple of cleanup kills, it might be okay, but it doesn't look like it. That's gonna be the end of that. The disconnect was too much, but that is how you are looking to play Agni. Looking to stay behind walls in team fights. That's a general build that I like on Agni, with particular focus on CDR, Lifesteal, and Soul Reaver are really the focuses of that build. Everything else a little bit interchangeable. And yeah, let's take a glance at that damage number here at the end of the game, and that's your Agni ability level up damage guy. 37k, baby. Not bad, not bad, not bad.